So we have another analog horror on our hands, but this time it's about living meat. Okay, well that didn't sound right. Anyways, guys, what's up, guys? Julius Gaming here, and welcome to VITA CARNIS by Darwin Killoy. I think he's the one that made this all. So this is the first time I'm seeing this. Shout out to Agent, since he saw my first analog night, and so this is gonna be the second episode for it. So without any further ado, make sure you guys like the video, get above 5 likes for more stuff like this, and subscribe, and leave a comment down what your favorite part of the video was and what part disturbed you the most. And we're gonna try to understand, this is a documentary, so this is a really big type of video. But yeah, let's get right into tonight's video, or tonight's analog night. Or should I call it analog watch or analog night? What do you guys think? Comment down what you guys think I should go. Analog night or analog watch? I don't know. Whatever best. And whoop, let's go. Introduction. My first time watching this is I'm just by myself. It's just me this time, so nothing too crazy. Gore, flashlights, violence, death. Let's see. Federal law provides severe civil and criminal penalties for unauthorized. Okay.
On planet Earth, life has thrived for millions of years. Creatures big and small have found ways to adapt and evolve to flourish in all types of environments.
So we got all these creatures
to lush forests.
Okay.
Life can be found.
Yeah, I mean, life can be found everywhere.
These creatures since the dawn of life itself.
Exactly.
Only until very recently, things have changed. New life forms have appeared all around the globe and completely changing the balance of nature and what we know about evolution itself.
I'm not gonna like this.
That is why we, at National Living Meat Research, have been studying these new species, trying to help educate everyone about these creatures and their wondrous ways of life. First, what are these new life forms? Since their explosive arrival across the globe in 1931, there has been much debate on what these newcomers are, and where they came from. Are they extraterrestrials coming to invade Earth? Or are they demons who come from hell to purge humanity? From what our scientists have discovered, no. The origins of these creatures are solely to Earth, miraculously out of nowhere. We don't know why or how, but one thing is for certain, Earth is now their home. What these creatures are is
this. If I ever see a thing like this, I don't want to be near it, man. Well, you don't know what he could do. We don't know what these creatures will do.
But here's what we do know.
Oh my God.
These creatures are comprised mainly of muscle tissue, organs, and bones. They greatly resemble animals with no skin or store-bought meat. Because of these characteristics, they have been named accordingly as VITA CARNIS.
VITA CARNIS, okay.
The carnis species consume decaying, organic matter, but their main diet is composed of raw meat, not including their carnis relatives. The carnis only appear in places where there is an abundance of crawl, which leads to the first creature of the carnis species, the crawl. The crawl is a growth of meaty tendrils that closely resemble the small intestine, the only difference being the dark red coloration. These tendrils grow in a similar pattern as vines, mold, or fungi. A primary stem structure is the host to division of other, smaller branches. In each tendril contains a variety of veins, arteries, and other similar organs used to transport nutrients absorbed from its surroundings.
Goosebumps, man.
The ends of these tendrils are equipped with organelles used to absorb water and organic matter necessary for growth. The source of these organic materials is mainly found in dirt and soil on surrounding surfaces. Using its root-like tendrils, it absorbs the material and processes it into usable energy. Although, the crawl also obtains energy through another means. Using a sophisticated form of photosynthesis, the dark pigmentation of the smaller branches is ideal for absorbing sunlight, and therefore allowing solar energy to fuel the crawl's growth. Because of its efficiency, it thrives in almost all types of environments, easily allowing it to spread across the world, and can be found pretty much anywhere.
That is not good. Having that red, like that freaking thing, like that just, like, it looks like a whole vine. It's like it's just going through, like, it's just going through the entire, like, place. and everything.
Its recent inclusion in the
Oh,
ecosystem has
it
caused
look
many
ugly. It's
major
like Left 4 Dead
changes
2
in nature's
vibes, man.
balance.
I love Red Dead 2 vibes.
One
It
may
gives better
assume that the
vibes. I don't
crawl's
know.
presence may outcompete any other competitors, but due to its unique life cycle, where old branches fall off and decay into nutrient-rich compost, all forms of life seemingly flourish instead. The crawl's abundance grants plenty of nourishment to all animals, from plants feeding on the cave crawl, herbivores thriving on increased plant population, and carnivores feeding on both the abundant prey, and are able to eat the crawl as well. The presence of all these animals leaves behind waste, which will be broken down and consumed by the crawl, and the cycle begins again.
I was like, okay.
This form of symbiosis leads to an environment where all populations thrive. Humanity also uses the crawl to our advantage. Because of the supernatural rate of growth and its richness in nutrients, it has been sustainably cultivated into domestic farms. The crawl is harvested and processed into fertilizer, which greatly increases crop yield and quality. The crawl may also be used as a food source for humans, and reliably so. But due to its unkindly appearance and taste, it has yet to reach cuisine standards. The crawl also plays a very important role in the next creatures that we have been studying. Sometimes, in a crawl-populated environment, a node of meat may develop on one of the branches. This node will fall off and grow into a functioning organism, and go to live on as an independent animal.
Oh my goodness. VITA CARNIS?
This leads us to the upcoming species that we will be discussing. The first of these creatures are the trimmings.
Oh, the trimmings. Okay.
The trimmings.
Oh.
First of these
What was
creatures
that?
are the
What? So these are these. So do these come from a long once upon a time? But it's like a kingdom. The kingdom was. I can't read that. It may are these like some thing that came from a long time ago?
Trimmings are small animals that resemble skinned raccoons. They are commonly known to have a plump body, round head, small eyes, nose and ear holes, and an agape mouth. They are also equipped with a diversity of limbs. All individual trimmings are unique, each with a different body shape, number of limbs, and other characteristics. One thing they all share in common is that they are made mostly of meat tissue, and are a maximum of 20 centimeters in length. No larger than a basketball.
Goodness.
Its life starts with its separation from the crawl. It will wonder to find anything that is edible and able to consume. Although it is an omnivore, being able to hunt meat and forage for plant matter, trimmings are almost entirely scavengers. Their diet consists of rotting plants and meat, including, but not limited to, fruits, vegetables, roots, seeds, insects, and deceased animals. Although its appearance is unsightly, it is a cowardly creature.
Look like a whole SCP!
Screeching and hiding.
Get him out!
Because of its lack of defensive traits, it lies near the bottom of the food chain, making it easily overpowered and picked off very regularly by predators.
It was bad though. I think it gets scared.
Its population would eventually die out.
Wow.
Which is not the case. The crawl constantly produces a large quantity of trimming nodes, keeping up their numbers.
Imagine having these monkeys as a pet.
Trimmings can be found wherever there is abundant crawl.
Okay, so go to a small island and live there. Got it.
Reaching maturity at around 7 months.
My bad, guys. My nose is just killing me.
Lifespan of 2 to 4 years.
2 to 4 years? That's really short.
Although they are plentiful, humanity has no proper way to implement trimmings into society. Their overabundance has even considered them pests, due to them digging through trash bins and making excessive noise at night. Besides all of this, some people still keep trimmings as pets, and relatively domesticate them. Nuisance or not, trimmings are a wondrous creature. From their plentiful numbers, to their skittish nature, they are truly a thing to behold.
I mean, it might be the friendliest thing that is on this list.
The meat snake. The meat list is...
Yo. Okay. We got some storyline. Okay, we got some story. I'm gonna try to read this as best as I can. During the travels of one of their expeditions, a great storm struck. It was so powerful that it swayed the boat the royal family rode and pushed the prince out and into the sea. So that's the prince. Okay. Okay, we got some story. We got some story.
Snake is a worm-like creature made of a variety of types of meat, coated in a transparent, skin-like membrane. Its size varies during its lifespan.
I don't want to see what this looks like in picture,
man.
man.
It consumes. When it first separates from the crawl, it is only a few centimeters in length.
Get it out, man!
Eventually, it will reach an average length of 5 meters. Although, under extreme conditions, like natural disasters, war, or plague, it can greatly surpass this length. The meat snake's diet consists entirely of dead animals or parts. A meat snake is incapable of consuming a healthy, living organism. The meat snake locates its food by using a tongue-like organ covered in sensors to touch and feel its environment. The sensors catch particles of decaying meat, notifying the meat snake that there is food nearby. This process shares many similarities to regular snakes, hence the meat snake's name. Once it locates the corpse, the meat snake will open its jaw and swallow the entire body whole.
Oh my god.
Once the entire body is consumed, the meat snake's stomach will release a variety of chemicals. Some will break down soft tissue like skin, and the connection points between muscles. Others chemicals will then ferment and preserve the tissue to keep it from breaking down for as long as possible. After that, the remaining flesh and bones will move along the meat snake's tract, and slowly be implemented into its own structure, extending the meat snake. Unsatisfactory parts like skulls, pelvises, hair, and fingernails will be excreted. Speaking of skulls, the meat snake will take the skull from the consumed organism and use it as its own. Each meat snake has its own skull, each corresponding to what that one has consumed.
Wow, that's actually pretty dope.
During its lifespan,
it's like unlocking a new skin.
Swap or replace these skulls if needed.
Swap.
A meat snake's lifespan depends entirely on how much a meat snake consumes. The longest one has lived for was 28 years. The meat snake has no predators and is immune to disease due to its preserving chemicals. The only significant ways a meat snake can die is through starvation, burning, or complete destruction of the meat snake's membrane coating. Interestingly, the meat snake is the only member of the Carnis family that is able to reproduce. When a meat snake reaches an excessive size, and is in the conditions to do so, it will commence mitosis, splitting itself in two. Then the now two meat snakes will go on their separate ways and live on as two distinct organisms. Meat snakes can only be found in moderate temperature climates, not too hot, not too cold. Their population depends entirely on the amount of corpses available. Where there is death, there are meat snakes.
Imagine seeing these in like a city,
Humanity
man.
will use them to our advantage. Meat snakes are a very efficient and clean way of disposing of any meat products. The preserving fluid within the meat snake's body disinfects the carrion, preventing the spread of disease.
That's true.
Humans use meat snakes in butcher shops as a waste bin, dispose roadkill, within war on the battlefield to dispose of festering bodies and parts,
So
and within zoos to dispose of deceased animals.
Still disgusting, but okay.
They are extremely tame, not caring if any creature is around them, only acting defensively when it is within consuming a meal. This means they are very easy to tame. Overall, meat snakes are a marvelous creature with a very interesting way of sustaining itself. It is an amazing experience to encounter one, as long as you don't mind the smell. Our next creature is the mimic.
The mimic! The mimic got me talking different languages now, bro. Like, come on. Got it! Oh, goodness. After being stranded at sea, the young prince eventually was cast to an island. Injured, the prince stumbled his way into a nearby cave. The prince used what magic he could put himself into a healing sleep. So this is definitely...
The mimic is a bipedal creature with uncanny similarities to humanoid anatomy.
Yeah, like kill humans,
they greatly
man.
resemble humans without skin, with added exaggerated features. These features include extended finger length, longer limbs, bulging, empty eyes, and their most prominent feature, a wide, teeth-filled smile. Although it resembles a happy face, this is due to coincidence and is only how their facial structure is shaped.
Hey. Oh, heck no.
The moth, the mimic, contains much more teeth than humans, and their teeth is comprised almost entirely of incisors, with some canine and premolars in the back. This tooth composition is ideal for biting down onto meat and swallowing chunks whole. A mature mimic's diet is comprised entirely of human flesh. Because of this, they are found solely around human-populated areas. The mimic's life cycle is made of 3 stages. In the first stage, a young mimic separates from the crawl. They closely resemble their trimming relatives, but are thin, sleek, and only have 4 appendages. In this stage, the young mimic will hunt small animals, moving on to larger and larger as they grow. Once large enough, it will begin metamorphosis into the next stage of life. Once fully transformed, it will resemble the description mentioned in the beginning.
Third one?
Its hunting style changes and becomes much more complicated. It now stalks and feeds only on humans. It will locate human-populated area and begin its search for an easy target. To blend in, it may use objects to conceal itself. These include clothing, mannequins, and furniture. Once a target has been found, the mimic will observe its prey and learn its routine and when it is most vulnerable. This is typically when the human is asleep at night. Once the prey is within position, the mimic will advance silently until it is close enough. The mimic will then execute and immediately begin consumption.
Oh my goodness.
Once the mimic has had its fill, it will leave the scene, a fair distance away from the human population, and begin to digest its meal. Although, in the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to either lure or startle prey into cornering themselves.
I don't know why. My door is on my left, and I looked at my window. The window is like up here. They can't jump high, can they? I don't think they could. Man, I'm actually scared for it. That genuinely sounded real. Oh my god!
Attack and kill the helpless target.
Oh no, we're gonna get to see like in depth. And I don't know what I would do here, dude. Turn off your light. Turn off your light, dude. He could see the light. Oh my god, this is so disturbing! Oh hell no. Oh!
The next stage of the mimic's life cycle has 2 potential morphs it may develop into.
Oh,
if a
that's
mimic
disturbing,
has a consistent
man.
supply of food, it will develop more human-like features. It will grow skin, hair, and by the end will look nearly identical to a human being.
I mean, I know they're called mimics, but god dang. That, like, you don't even know, what could you do? Could you even fight it? We'll find out if you can even fight. I don't think you can even fight the mimic, probably.
It now can blend entirely into civilization and lure other humans more effectively.
Then it
The
sound
second
like that?
type of morph happens when a mimic receives an overabundance of food.
Oh,
It will
gosh.
grow into a larger, more evolved hunter.
What the heck?
Its proportions will increase in length, and its humanoid features will fade away.
Elder.
It grows a thick, dark coating of
That's
its
a freaking
flexible
elder,
skin,
yeah, that's a freaking
which is
elder
highly
mimic.
durable and increases in strength the more the elder mimic consumes. This excludes the face, which is now coated in a pale pink skin. The mimic's teeth have also moved deeper into the mimic's throat, leaving its mouth a toothless grin. It uses the dark hue of its skin to hide seamlessly within a dark environment. Its skills have also been heightened. This makes an elder mimic one of the most efficient predators on the planet. Because of the obvious threat this poses on humanity, nations around the world have released instructions on how to be able to fend for yourself in a mimic encounter. Here are the instructions.
1. Avoid going out alone if your location is known to have mimics, or there have been mimic sightings. 2. If you encounter a stationary mimic, seemingly unfazed by your presence, quietly leave the location and alert your local authorities. 3. If pursued by a mimic, get yourself into a position where you are able to flee. Mimics will rarely attack if a person has a clear escape route. 4. In the event that you have been cornered by a mimic, roll into the fetal position, protecting your neck, face, and vital organs from attack. Make as much noise as you can to alert any other people. 5. If you have a weapon, do not use it. A mimic is fairly resilient, and any strikes or shots on a mimic is not effective enough to bring it down in time. Instead, use it as a barrier between you and the mimic to block any attacks. 6.
Oh, parry them attacks,
in a situation where a mimic is hunting in the immediate area, and is not aware of your position, hide somewhere low, like under a bed or behind other furniture. A mimic will not linger too long to search for prey, and will move on.
Be safe, and avoid any encounters with a mimic at all costs. Next up, the Harvester. The Harvester. Next up.
Oh no, we got more. No, I have no words. I had no words for part of the dialogue. I'm sorry, guys, for me not talking a lot, but it says here, but hey, the prince's sleep was long. I mean, I said princess. The prince's sleep was long. He slept for seemed like forever. As he slept, the land around him changed and grew. It was unrecognizable from when the prince first arrived, but sleep still needed time to heal the prince. Much more time, but it kept the prince safe while he rested, guarded from the elements as the land changed.
The Harvester.
Oh my god, this is disturbing, dude. I have nothing to say. I'm trying like to talk during this, but like, oh my gosh, this is actually insane.
Spreading from the base. The bulb measures around 3 meters in height and 2 meters in diameter.
Explodes, yeah. It looks like those eggs from
on the other hand, can extend up to 150 meters in diameter horizontally. The Harvester is a specialized form of crawl that grows in a unique and deadly way. A harvester is created when a node that will grow into a harvester, instead of separating, continues to grow. Eventually, it will grow tendrils of its own. It uses the energy provided by its mother branch and expands its reach further. Its tendrils, hidden just below the surface of the ground. The Harvester is equipped with 2 types of specialized tendrils. The first type is bulky and flat. They lie the closest to the
surface. It looks like an earthworm,
yo. On each length of the tendril with spines, extending in the shape of a bear trap.
It looks like a disgusting. I don't know. It looks like a disgusting one for teeth, though. That's all I gotta know.
That pump 2 types of venom. On one side, the spines can inject a neurotoxin, which will attack the nervous system of whomever it is injected into, causing sudden paralysis. The other side can inject an anticoagulant, which when injected, prevents blood cells from clotting. Whenever a large animal moves across the area armed with these tendrils, the branches will clamp onto the animal and thrash violently. Once the prey has been injected with both venoms, the tendrils will rest and the prey will immediately collapse. The animal will be unable to move due to the paralysis, and the wounds caused by the thrashing spines will not stop bleeding. All the prey can do is lie patiently, until succumbing to blood loss. Once the prey has bled out, the second type of tendrils come in. They lie below the spine equipped once. These branches are thick, but very sturdy. They share similar anatomy to the small branches of the crawl, equipped with organelle that absorbs nutrients. These tendrils sense the blood, and move their way to the surface and begin to absorb the vital fluid. Once the blood has been consumed, the tendrils will wrap around the body and begin to shuffle downwards. This movement loosens the soil and slowly pull the body underground. Once secure, the tendrils will continue to feed until there is nothing but scraps. The nourishment absorbed by the tendrils will be sucked back into the main bulb of the harvester. This bulb houses all the vital organs and the venom glands that pump into the spines. The nutrients are then converted into usable energy. The remains underground decompose, providing a rich soil, causing very prominent plant growth, which then attracts more animals. A strange behavior the harvester displays is its choice of diet. The spines will only activate on larger animals, allowing smaller ones to pass by unaffected.
Bugs.
The spines will also not activate
fly got
on
into
some
my window,
species
yo.
of bird. There are a couple theories as to why this happens. One,
I'm trying to watch
it
the
could be
video.
that attacking
Leave me alone,
smaller
fly. My
animals
bad,
would
guys.
cost too
Freaking
much
fly.
energy for what they get in
I leave my
return,
window open so it can
making
get
it not
cold.
worth the time.
There'd be freaking. There'd be one
Another
fly
could be
that just
smaller
comes in, yo.
animals may attract larger animals or predators, allowing a safe place where
So
prey may
these
thrive
things can really
and
catch
lure more
you.
predators.
Oh, they're
It truly
really
is
dangerous.
astonishing.
It's not astonishing. It's
Although it is a
horrifying.
spectacular creature, it is also very dangerous.
Yes, it's
The
dangerous.
harvester is decently rare, only populating sparse areas in the northern hemisphere and woodland forests. If you are stung by a harvester, there will be no way of helping you, being that there is no cure, and fatality is 100% positive.
Family, we got some more lore. We got some lore. Family attacked by a harvester while, I think walking, while, I can't tell. Authorities refused to handle the harvester, only putting up warning signs. So they don't want to handle with it. I can't read. It's a family of 4 that was attacked. I think it says, I'm trying to read more, but telling the public to be more careful. So you know what? So the authorities don't want to handle the harvester because they're worried that they could get taken. So instead of just taking care of it, they just said, you know what? That's it. Put a warning sign. Tell them to let them get bit or eaten. Let the people who's stupid enough to get eaten. God dang, a family of 4. It says here. You can barely see the line, but I could kind of see that. Encountered after a walk. Yeah, it's a walk. Yeah. Okay. Passed. So we don't know. I don't know how many people. I don't know how many people passed, but some. I don't know.
The best thing you can do is
probably
avoid
thinking
encountering a harvester in the first place.
It couldn't be all of them.
If you are hiking, take note
I'm
of
not
any
sure.
warnings or signs saying that there are harvesters around. If you also notice an
No,
abundance
this could
of
be
lush,
real, man. For all
ground-dwelling
we
plants
know,
in a forested
it could be.
area,
I don't know.
and there are no signs of wildlife,
It's just
this is suspicious and you should leave the area, staying close to the base of large trees or rocks. If you find yourself in the middle of a harvester ground, do not panic. Sudden movements may activate the tendrils and will inject you. Although a harvester is rather forgiving, do not risk any skittish movements. Remain calm. If you have any objects with considerable heft, like coats, backpacks, or full water bottles, gently take that object and lightly toss it towards the bulb, and away from your escape route. This will activate the spines on where the object lands, distracting the bulb for a moment. You will then slowly begin to do wide shuffles away from the bulb. If possible, throw another object when you are certain you are a fair enough distance away, just to be safe. Continue until you are completely sure you are out of harm's way.
Okay.
You may come out unscathed, but don't be too obnoxious, or you will be a harvester's next meal. Next up is the host.
Okay, we got one. Okay, we got another one. There is a time of hardship. Critters on the island. So critters were struggling. There was barely any food to go around. They would go and gather whatever they. It's hard to say, but they probably had to gather food that they could have found. I'm feeling like this story is definitely having something to do with the VITA CARNIS. This is definitely a story that's definitely going with it.
The host
As
of
the
influence.
thing, the element is changing.
The host of
Land
influence,
is changing.
more commonly referred to as
Yo,
the host, has its
bro,
name
like a
derived from a host
boss.
who invites
He's like
guests
a
to an
final
event.
boss, yo.
Not
No,
to be confused with a host, a harborer of parasites or disease. The host is a semi-humanoid-looking organism. It has the structure of a head,
You look like
torso,
freaking, oh
and
my god, you
arms.
look like that one dude
Other
from
than
Death
this,
Note.
it shares no other
Yes,
characteristics.
I don't know his name. I don't really watch Death Note, but there's a character
The
on
lower
pictures
half
just
of
like
the
that.
host is comprised
the
of
thing
a
on the
massive
shoulders.
fibrous
Oh,
tissue and tendrils
disgusting.
that burrow into the ground to hold the host in place. Instead of skin, the host is covered in muscular tissue
Oh, you about
fibers,
levitate towards you,
tendons,
like.
and veins. In some parts of the body
You
are
look about
covered in a
levitate towards
meaty
you.
plate, used to cover any large exposed areas, but allowing movement.
Hold on, how much we got left?
The host's head has
We
a
got 2
smooth
more.
surface where the face should be,
So this is
attached to
one.
a crooked neck, which houses a slit in the front used for feeding.
Yeah. This is really this
On the
journey.
host's back is a mound of pores. Protruding from these pores are hollow, hair-like structures, extending outwards. These hairs are barrels that release spores produced within host's body by being fired into the air. These spores are hazardous, so keep clear of them at all costs. Luckily, the host is rare, only found in North America.
Wow.
Obtaining info about the host is a very risky and daunting task. This
I'm
is
in
because
danger.
of their rarity and of how dangerous it is to be up close to one. The spores released by a host is very dangerous when inhaled. A host will release a cloud of spores into the air, which will be picked up by wind and carried great distances. If an organism inhales the spores, the particles will find their way into the organism's brain and infect them. An infected organism will show no symptoms of infection right away, but a couple hours after infection the infected organism's behavior and thought process will change. The first symptoms that appear are restlessness, sluggish movement, numbness of joints, and lack of coordination. Then more serious
so it's
symptoms
easy to get
appear
messed
over
up with
time.
that.
These include dizziness, migraines, impaired speech, and trembles. If you, or someone you know show these symptoms, contact poison control or emergency services. After a total of 6 to 7 control or emergency services. After a total of 6 to 7 hours after infection, the organism will cease all activities they were previously doing and begin to walk. The direction the infected will walk is towards the host whose spores have been inhaled by the infected individual. If the infected makes their way to the host, they will kneel down in front of it, expose their vital organs, and the host will promptly gut and remove those organs. The host will consume them and discard the leftover scraps. However, if an infected organism doesn't reach the host within a 36-hour span or is treated for their infection, the effects will wear off and return back to normal.
Oh, okay, so it is possible for it to wear off. Okay.
If a host is unable to find prey or doesn't like its current location, it will unroot itself and move to a new location. Their scarce numbers and the hazard of being around one makes getting info about the host very daunting. All you need to currently know is that the host is extremely dangerous and should be avoided at all costs.
At least it's treatable.
Next, the monoliths.
These suckers are like giant. These suckers are like giants.
The monoliths.
These suckers are like giants. The monoliths. The monoliths. I got it. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Oh my goodness. Okay, my bad, guys. I got it. Although one day the critters found the cave while searching for food, they found a prince in trance in his healing sleep. The critters were so awestruck and enchanted by the prince's magic. I was gonna say princess again. God dang. Oh my goodness. So we got these critters are
the monoliths. The monolith is a very new creature, only showing up in June of 1972 in the area of. There are only 7 monoliths, all of them located in a circular position, 1.5 kilometers in diameter. This ring of monoliths surrounds. The monolith is a Titanic-sized being, measuring roughly 120 meters in height. Each monolith
Oh
has
my
two trunk legs that
God.
are firmly embedded underground. The legs connect to a torso. The creature itself is made of hundreds of thousands of meaty strands, tightly woven together to form the structure. These strands end at the neck, fusing into a solid mass of hardened flesh in the shape of an upside-down triangle, with a hole in its center. On each side of the monolith where arms would be, there are dozens of long, rope-like appendages. These reach just barely to the ground. At the creature's feet, the strands go deep into the earth and extend horizontally a decent distance away.
Jeez, bro, it's literally Attack on Titan.
What the monoliths do is simply
that's
stand
actually
and do
creepy.
nothing. The
Oh.
only activity documented that the monoliths have done was in.
So they did do something, but we...
During this period, they were extremely aggressive. When the group of were making their way to the city, the monolith that they had passes roared a deep bellow and swung its appendages at the team, completely wiping them out.
Oh my
When
gosh.
military vehicles were dispatched, once they got close enough top the monolith, it roared another call, this time releasing an EMP blast, completely knocking the vehicles out in the vicinity. Finally, long-distance rockets were fired and struck the creature.
There's a freaking battle out here. Nations versus the monoliths. That's actually... Oh my god, that's actually creepy.
Although
Oh
damaged,
my
it
god, it's
regenerated at great
so...
speed and resumed its stance
Oh my
unscathed.
gosh.
Eventually, the area has been fenced off and is now restricted to all. Ever since, the monoliths stand silently, now only a grand spectacle of awe and mystery, only adding more questions to these
They're
neat
doing
beings.
something.
And finally, the last creature on this list is...
Oh, they gave me a bunch. They gave me a bunch of time to pause. I can't say. Who is this creature? Why are they here? Are they dangerous? A thought was thought. Well, if this creature could use his magic to help him and make her food or heal sickness, they continue to argue about the prince and his magic. In the end, the majority of the critters agreed that the prince was dangerous and should not be like messed with or needled with or whatever. Needled with.
Singularity is an orb comprised
Oh my goodness.
of luminous colors within its core. The singularity is estimated to be 1 meter in diameter. The orb has several unique qualities.
That orb
are
is
not well understood.
basically the
The
humanity
singularity
ending.
typically can be found suspended in air by an unseen force. There are also a variety of reading that have been documented coming from
It's
the
hidden
orb itself.
or
Various things
you're only able
like
to read one
magnetic
classified
fields,
document being held by
energy
blank.
signatures, and other pattern-like signals released by the singularity. The population of these creatures is unknown. Almost all info
Oh my
about the
god, that
singularity
is
hidden or
actually
confiscated
crazy.
by officials. We were only able to receive one classified document about the singularity being held by marvelous and majestic world that exists today. It's as extraordinary to have such strange and mysterious beings appear all around us.
No.
Thank you for joining us on
no.
this journey of exploration and discovery of the lives of these living meat creatures.
Oh. Is that it? That's it. Oh. God. Oh my god, that was oh my god, that's it. Oh, that was stressful. Okay, so I'm trying to gather my thoughts here after seeing all of that. It seems like that prince or that story definitely has something to do with VITA CARNIS because it keeps showing up. With the prince that when he sleeps, the element of land changes with the critters. I feel like there's definitely a lot to it. I'm definitely gonna have to look. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and look at the lore again and really like understand. It's really because you got this is an in-depth story. This is something you really got to go deep into and understand everything. This is something you got to rewatch back. I'm not gonna get this first try. Like, you don't not first try, the first time. So I gotta rewatch this nonstop to understand the story. This is crazy. With the orb, the mimic, the freaking like The mimic was probably like, oh my god, that was actually crazy. Like the other creatures, yo, oh my gosh. The trimming was probably the friendliest, yo. I'm not gonna lie. Like, though, gonna be like really like rats, like they're everywhere, everything, like bugs. But oh my goodness, guys, that was VITA CARNIS. That was an incredible documentary. This was definitely something I really like enjoyed, and I definitely had some good scares, amazing design, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, the story wise, definitely incredible, loved it. I personally, this is already one of my favorite analog horrors, definitely one of my favorites. So shout out to you, Darren or Darren. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it right. Or Darren. I don't know. But huge amazing job to him for making this. I definitely want to see some dope more analog stuff like this. If you guys want to see me react to some more stuff like this, make sure you guys go to my Discord, put it in the horror video section, or I might make an analog horror section or something. But yeah, make sure you guys get it up to 5 likes, subscribe. Please join the Discord group down in the description, like I just said earlier. Show support to everybody, and please have an amazing night, or else